What is going on, guys? Let's start with the good news first. The good news is I got my paperwork back from my LLC in Busy, and this is what I'm going to recommend you all do. Go to Staples, pick up something like this where you can keep all your documents, my tax ID, all your documents in nice, neat order for when you physically have to go to a bank. It's my articles. I even got some Secretary of State of Connecticut. You see that? And people that have been watching me a while, you're like, wait a minute, you got an LLC for Blandrake? Didn't you have that company like for 2 years already? I had the name. I was using the name under my holding company that I already had, but it wasn't actually a separate entity. So I was using the name already. I was branding myself. I was using the name. I was using it on my Facebook. I was using it on my YouTube channels and even my TikTok. But it wasn't until recently that I set up the LLC, because my holding company was never set up properly, and I need something fresh, new, in good standing, to start my journey going after grants, number one. First and foremost, going after grants. And after grants, I'm probably going to focus more on funding because my score went up. I just hit 700s recently, at least on my TransUnion and Experian. I didn't check my Equifax, but I'm pretty sure it's close, probably 698 or something like that. I want to get to a little bit higher, probably like 720. So about 720, and hopefully at least one decent sized grant, 5,000 or better. Honestly, anything would help, but 5,000 or better would make me feel like it could pay down some bills while I'm building the business. That's all it's really gonna do, because I invested 3,000 of my own dollars, not just on the LLC part, but everything. I got a real business phone number. I got a real website with the domain, with the email to match, and I put some money into advertising. I'm ramping up all the channels. I'm probably gonna do a channel specific, like a branded new channel. I'm still trying to decide whether I want to do that or not. And then a part of me wants to start a Slack for some reason. I probably want to try a Slack, because people are telling me that they're blowing up on Slack because it's still relatively a new platform. Not everybody has a Slack account yet. And Slack gives you a little bit of everything, and there's no upfront fee, and you can still charge for a membership, which I like. But I'm thinking Slack because it has a lot of different things. It has pictures you can post on there. You can post videos on there. You can post a podcast on there. So it's different from other social media platforms. And it's probably the only one I'm not already on. And they're telling me you could take your email list with you, which I like. So I'm thinking about doing a Slack, and I think I'll hopefully get more exposure than I'm getting on LinkedIn. And I can use the same content I'm already using, like the same stuff I've been talking about. I want to get away from our rideshare stuff. I'm still currently driving part-time, but I want to get away from the rideshare stuff a little bit. I still probably will do a transportation company to hold all the cars, because cars are high risk, but even though it's the means of me making money, I don't want to focus on rideshare. However, the courier delivery stuff, I could put in the same company. That's what I like. I can literally sign up under the same LLC, do some delivery stuff, and get paid in this LLC. You know, even though it's a AI marketing agency. But the Uber and Lyft, they know, like even the banks know, if they see me funneling my Uber and Lyft money, it's usually a red flag that, okay, that's not the business you set this up for, so you don't want to get any problems with the bank. So I'll probably still have Uber and Lyft go on my personal account. That's fine. But I want to get to the point where if I have a monthly membership paying me, even if I only signed up one person a day, I would be happy. You know, if I could build the Slack account and build a following, because you never know. They're telling me random people are blowing up on Slack. That's what they're telling me. And I think I'm a random person. And I also think I have a lot of content. I have a lot of content, guys. I'm not a popular creator. I don't get a lot of views, but I have a lot of content and I have a lot of channels in social media. So if I could just funnel all my traffic to one place, and then another part of me was thinking, do I want to do the with me thing where I do everything on one platform with me, but I gotta pay, I think it's up to $29. When it came out, it was only $24.99. I think it's like $29 now for their basic plan. And I don't know if I want to pay that. Slack takes a percentage, but they take it on the back end. So after you start making some money, that's when they will take it. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do with me now. I'm thinking maybe I should try Slack and get AI to help me do the written part of Slack and the quotes to put on Slack. And I just focus on putting content. I could do long form and short. That's the crazy part. I've got so much content, guys. Because I could do one long form content video like this, cut it into so many shorts, and have content for at least a month on Slack. At least a month. With one video, I can have content for a month. And then go into Chat GPT or Gemini, or I might even start using Claude finally, and giving them, helping, using the AI to give me the blueprint to build my Slack, if that makes sense. Like, it's going to give me, okay, you're using this content, maybe you want to do this and post an article about this, and you know what I'm saying? And I'll be talking about 3 things: grants, funding, right, and business. So it's like the whole business development side, and then the funding side, and then I'll also be talking about AI. So I like that. I don't know what to call it yet. I don't know if I want to. I'm thinking I should just stick with my brand name, like Blandrake, or just call it like maybe like Blandrake Family LLC, or call it something totally different from my company name. I thought about that, but I'm thinking maybe I want to stay brand consistent and say Blandrake. Yeah, maybe I'll do Blandrake Family LLC. I'm not sure about that part yet. But I have endless content. Endless. I don't know why the people that have been following me for so long still haven't started a channel. Like with all this AI technology out here. I really don't. But that's what I think I'm gonna do. Start my own Slack, maybe brand it to my name. I thought about doing Beehive, which gives you a free uh, blog, basically post, and I think you could do like a lot of people too. You could get probably like a couple thousand people before they start charging you. But I think I'm gonna want to go with Slack because it gives you a way to blow up quicker, because the people on the Slack platform will start to subscribe to people already on the Slack platform. That's what I kind of like. It's kind of like the school, SKOOL. I'm talking about the school platform, where people on the platform contribute to your community, not just outsiders. And then how to get outsiders to join is you promote it on YouTube. So I'll have in the YouTube description, go to my Slack, you know what I'm saying? My community on Slack. And that'll force new people to go over to Slack and subscribe and hopefully watch all the forms of my content. Because I think there's something called notes. And then you got the video, and then you got the blog posts and something else. But it gives you a lot of ways to produce content. You could do a video or podcast. So I could probably do both on that one platform if I really want to. And I could take content already exists from my YouTube and put it over there in Slack too. So it's not like I even got to shoot new videos. I can start with the videos I already have. So I'm thinking about that. I thought about the With Me thing. It sounded good, but I don't know. Something about With Me is not. I think the part about paying. That's not a lot of money, but I'm already using a lot of AI tools. And just one more monthly fee is killing me. You know what I'm saying? Until I start making some money, maybe I'll revisit that. And then on my my actual website, I'll just link it to my Slack account. I'll just do that. You know, have all my people go over to Slack. I'll just do it like that. And just have Slack as my main platform, you know, on all my social media channels that I want you to go check out. You know. And I could always put it under my, I own my real name domain too, William Blandrake. So I could use that domain to also retarget to my Slack. So I got a lot of ideas. Of course, the main thing is, now that I got my paperwork back for my business, now the main thing should be going after grants. That should be the main focus, is going after grant money, because the grant money could be used to open up new accounts, stuff like that. I'm thinking about going with my first fintech bank, and I'm thinking about two banks right now. There's two. I'm either thinking about going with Found, or I'm thinking about going with Relay. So those are the first two fintech banks. Once I've made some money, money to me would be like 5 to 10,000. Once I get 5 to 10,000, that will be immediately put into a physical bank that I could go to, or credit union. I'm thinking about credit union next. Go to fintech first. Remember, my whole plan is start this company, open multiple tiers of places or pockets to put money in, because I don't trust any one platform. So I'm going to do at least one fintech, one credit union outside of Navy Federal, because Navy Federal is cool. I already got my main holding company in there that I'm trying to possibly just keep on the shelf or dissolve later. I haven't decided yet. But Navy Federal isn't the best place for business accounts because they only have one business credit card. I think it only goes up to $15,000, and then they don't report anything about your business to the business credit side. So kind of pointless. Even Relay supposedly reports to all of them. You know, Found doesn't report. That's another fintech. I want to get one local credit union. I got two good ones that I live near. So, actually, it might be three. I don't know if one does business accounts, though. So, what I'll do is I'll open a personal account at one of them, and then later go back in and do the business account. That's what I'll do. But I want to start with a fintech, get some grant money into that fintech, and then I could, from the fintech platform, I could move money to a physical bank too. I could do it physically. If I'm at the branch, I'll open it obviously with maybe $100, and then later I can wire, a couple thousand in, but do it slowly. I don't have to do 5,000. I could do literally 1,000, or 500 even, and put it in slowly. The banks like that better, I think. Then I'm not probably gonna ever go to the big tier banks with this LLC, because if you've been watching me for a while, my plan after that, after building some credit on, using my personal to back my business, once I get to a certain amount, funding amount, I'm thinking like 150K, then I'll open and go look for a brick and mortar location and start the C Corp at a physical location. This is going to allow me to get away from all these virtual business address problems, and literally now I could go to Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and hopefully by then I'll have at least 2,000 to put in each account. 2,000, I think that's the beginning amount where you get that little couple $100 credit they usually give. So I don't want to go crazy, but I'll keep at least 2,000 in each bank. So those big three, and then what I might do is I might just stick to credit unions with this LLC. Once I've made some money, it'll be a little bit easier, I think, to open an account with other credit unions, like online. So I think even right now, there's probably one or two credit unions I could get away with applying to for other than Navy Federal. Strictly online, doing it online. I'm just trying to see if I can find a cheap business insurance company so I can get my virtual address to match that, and hopefully that will relax any notions of it's not a real business office and all this other stuff. Like I said, the C Corp is going to have a real physical location. It's going to be named a different name. I was going to go with the same name, but you know what? I want to get away from my name altogether. Even though Blandrake's not my last name, it's still close. So this LLC will be basically for the fintech banks and the credit unions. When I get to C Corp, that's when I'll go to Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, the second tier banks, TD, M&T, The C Corp's going to have a mother load of banks. And the C Corp is also where I might start taking a real check from. I might not ever take a check from this LLC. I might have to, this LLC will pay bills, but I might not take a check personally. When I need money, I'll just send myself money for that month, you know, like once a month maybe, if the money's there. Like if I got $12,000 in the business account, I could send my personally send myself $2,000 for my personal pay, something like that. But the key is to keep most of the money in the business, pay bills from the business, you know. Like I'll be able to pay my cell phone. That's going to be a write-off. I'll be able to pay my cell phone, you know, your internet, a lot of stuff I can pay because I really use it for business. So now I asked ChatGPT and Gemini, when I go to, it's really tricky with the virtual address, how to apply. And I want to keep this in the inner circle, especially when I start doing the Slack account. But it gave me the answer. There's a certain way you got to do it, where you got to incorporate your home address and your virtual address to stay in compliance, where they'll allow you to open the account. So I'm probably going to try that, but they're probably going to want that business insurance will help. You know, any type of bill that shows your any type of, I shouldn't say any type of bill, but insurance they do consider good enough to, okay, that'll fly, you know, according to ChatGPT and Gemini. But in the future, if you can just get a brick and mortar location, it solves all your problems, you know, your security issues. And the main reason why you doing all this, you don't want people to have your real home address, and you want to build credit on the your virtual address, or if it's linked to a real office, I should say. Like if it's linked to a real virtual office, you know, it's a little bit safer. But you're not going to get approved everywhere with a virtual address until you establish business credit, I think. Once you start establishing real business credit, I think you'll be safe. And I don't even trust fintechs because they have problems too. Yeah, I really don't. I don't trust fintechs. I would never probably keep more than, say, $10,000 in one fintech bank. You know, that's me personally. I want my money so spread out, you know, amongst many banks, even before I make really good money. So I'll never get to the point where you'll have, like, you should never have a point where you have more than $250,000 in any one bank. I'm talking total, your business money, your personal money should never be more than $250,000 in any one bank, because I think they only insure you for up to that amount. So I would say even, I'd be afraid to even keep $250,000 in any one bank. Never mind a fintech, you know. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if the money is in a brick and mortar business. I mean, a brick and mortar bank, as opposed to a fintech. So I probably would feel comfortable. I've been with Chase the longest. I probably would feel comfortable with 100K in my business account and probably only 10K in my personal accounts. One, I probably would be comfortable with like 10. I have another account I probably will only be comfortable with a few thousand. And even then, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep at night. So I would have to immediately start moving that money to. This is why you want to have all the main banks with the account open to move money. So I'll probably feel more comfortable moving money to Bank of America and Wells Fargo too. Maybe keep like 50K in each business account, And once you start making real money, I guess it's, that's a good problem to have. Just figure out more banks you can open. But there's so many mid-tier banks. I mean, in my area alone, if I got nervous, and I know it's something crazy to talk about because I'm not there yet, but it's cool to think about and plan ahead. I have so many mid-tier banks that I can just start breaking it down and start going to TD, M&T, Webster. I can start going there and opening accounts there because you have the money that they want to see, the minimum they want to see. So whatever their minimum they want to see to avoid fees, you want to have at least that in their bank, if not more. And they always want to see money moving. If the money's just sitting there in a bank, that's not good either. So it's always good to move money around. But I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost at the point where I can finally start going after these grants, but I want to think ahead with the Slack because I want to start building out a way to monetize my Slack with a monthly subscription. To me, you're not a real business until you have some monthly subscriptions coming in that pays you on a regular, because you can't rely on social media or your job, and even people drop off, like you gain two, one drops off, it's okay. It's going to fluctuate. But if you're bringing in even a small amount, let's say $4 to $5 grand a month from a membership, the banks are going to look at you as, okay, this is a real business, LLC or C Corp. Now, by the time I get to the C Corp level, I already have advertising dollars, so I'm not worried about that stage. I'll have the cash flow and the credit to prop that business up, and it's probably going to own this business anyway, so it's automatically going to be propped up by that. By that move alone, making the C Corp the owner or the parent company of this one automatically gives it credibility. Automatically. That's what I like. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoy my journey. It's been a long one. It's been a long journey. I'm going from an Uber driver to a guy over 50, no technical experience at all. And I'm building an AI marketing agency just using AI tech tools, very little experience. And I'm showing you how I'm doing it. I'm showing you the tools. I'm showing you the companies I'm going with. So there's really no excuse not to take some of the steps I'm taking. And even if you don't use the same companies, like you don't have to use Busy. You can use Taylor Brands or Zen Business. I don't care how you do it. Let's start a business today. Start today. What are you waiting for? I dragged a whole year. It was a whole year that I was supposed to already start this LLC and do everything. Some of you guys, it's still dragging from years of just watching other people do it. still never started your first business. That's crazy to me. So I don't have a Slack link for you yet, but maybe later on today I'll have one, and I'll send you over the link. I'll put it under the video. Maybe I'll do a separate domain just for my Slack. Who knows? I could probably literally call BlandrakeSlack.com and probably get away with that, you know. That's all I got for you guys today. Again, thank you for your consistent, support for the few of you. Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, I feel sorry for you because AI is taking over. But if you're getting ahead of the game like me and start planning your future, I'm over 50 and I'm still planning my future. Some of you have a lifetime ahead of you. You know, God willing, nothing accident happens or whatever. Some of you are only 30, 40, and still haven't started your own business. If you have a job, that's great, actually. That's great if you have a job, too. Let me tell you a quick story before I go, because I almost forgot. I hope he's not watching, because I like this guy. This is the roommate I like. I'm renting, for the people who haven't heard my stories over and over and over, I'm renting 2 rooms in my 2-bedroom apartment. Literally, it's 2 bedrooms, and I'm renting both bedrooms. It's like a large living room and dining room. So the dining room kind of separates the kitchen, bathroom, and the rooms. So I literally put a curtain up so I have my privacy. And I sleep basically in the living room. So I'm renting the 2 bedrooms, and the guy that I do like this, the one that pays. He doesn't give me any problems. He had a full-time job, and I feel bad even talking about him, but he had a full-time job paying him like $20-something an hour. I think like he got up to like 22, something like that. And he quit, somehow was able to still get his pension. For them to start paying him out his pension. He quit. He's a little bit younger than me. He's like 50, maybe 51. He quit, tried to say they were doing some racist stuff to him, and for what I said, it was just, they probably were racist, but they never said nothing directly to him. He overheard a conversation that was something discriminatory towards black people. He overheard it. Got mad. I guess it was like his last straw. He left. Somehow he got them to pay his pension. This dude didn't work all winter. He basically took a long vacation, and he was also driving for Lyft. So this guy was killing the game, $22 an hour and driving for Lyft. He had so much spare cash, he used to waste so much money playing scratch-offs and numbers that he would win $500,000, even one time $7,000. But so he chilled all winter because he had the pension. I didn't know how much money the pension is. I don't even know how pensions work. You guys can tell me in the comments. But he basically used all the money. He could have been driving the whole time. He still had that check coming in. And it was check more than enough to cover his bills. But he could have been driving too, and he would have had excess money still. This dude took off the entire winter and just started working last month. And he's trying to basically live like me, but he doesn't understand that I'm renting to you guys. You guys are covering my rent. So I have free rent right now. Granted, I have more bills and loans and responsibilities, but I don't need as much money as they do because my rent's covered. So why he would take all winter off and not drive for Lyft at least? He was making $100 to $150 a day driving for Lyft part-time. Now, what he does, the money runs out. He makes some money, runs out. Not a couple G's left. He waits till the money runs out, finally starts driving for a Lyft again, and he realized, oh, $100, $150 a day is not enough. You got car repairs, you got to pay me. You're paying me $175 a week. That's cutting in your earnings. You like to buy food. He doesn't like to cook, so he spends a lot of money buying food, more than I do. Nice guy. Like I said, this is my favorite roommate. He's not the alcoholic one. I just don't, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I wasted thousands in my lifetime. And through the graces of God, it's almost like God keeps giving me a second chance. Even when I went to set this LLC up, I got money out of the blue from somebody. And it was like an influx of cash that I needed to keep me going, to pay my bills while I was setting this up. And it's like God keeps helping me because I keep screwing up myself. But when I see somebody else making this financial mistakes like that, I can't help but feel bad. And now lately he's walking around looking all sad, smoking a lot of weed. I'm back to smoking too, but not nearly as much as him. He smokes to the point where he passes out like he has to go to sleep. I don't smoke like that, you know. So I'm just concerned because he's walking around all sad that he's struggling now, because you're used to having $22 an hour job and having Lyft money was all extra. Everything he made with Lyft was extra. Now he's relying on just that $100, $150 to pay all his bills. And he'll drive longer than me. He probably drives like what is considered full time. He probably drives like 8 hours a day. But there's days where you're sick, you don't want to go out. You know? You smoke a lot of weed, it makes you lazy. I know, I've been there. This is why I gotta do so much grinding in different places, because Uber and Lyft, even though Lyft paying a little bit better, it's not enough. Mind you, he don't drive for Uber. I left that out. He don't drive for Uber. For whatever reason, something in his legal background wouldn't allow him to drive on Uber, but he got away with it on Lyft. So he's on one platform. That's a disadvantage. You know, that is a major disadvantage, to be on one platform. Because there's days where Lyft pays slightly better per ride, at least in my area. Don't beat me up. But it gives you a lot fewer offers. I'll get 3 offers on Uber to 1 offer on Lyft. Now the difference is, I'll decline, like out of 10 Uber offers, I'll decline 9. That's how bad Uber's gotten. That's how bad Uber's gotten. And nationwide, Uber has a problem, acceptance rate problems amongst the drivers. I wonder why. Uber don't want to pay. Uber don't want to pay the drivers nothing if they could get away with it. Nothing. Now, Lyft has gotten slightly better with the pay. But again, a lot less offers. And I'm sure, and this is a heavy, I would say Connecticut is a heavy Lyft state. Like, they use a lot of Lyft, but still, there's triple more Uber drivers than Lyft. At least triple in my area. So for you not to be on both apps is crazy to me. But my roommate that I like, I feel bad because I see he's struggling. He's not making enough money. You're giving me $175 a week, and you got to pay all your other bills. You got car note, car insurance. I don't think he has a lot of credit cards like me, but I'm sure he has other responsibilities. He can't waste money on playing numbers like he used to. why he waited till the money ran out before started driving for Lyft. He could have had extra money just sitting in the bank. Again, I've made mistakes. People have pointed me out. Oh, why'd you waste all your credit on this and that and your money back in the day? And I made a lot of mistakes financially. And somebody said, well, at your age, you're not going to be getting too many second chances. You're right. You're right. That's like my third life. Right now, we're in it. This is my third life. I'm 55 years old. If I don't get rich, and when I say rich, I'm talking about at least living in my own place and bringing in total $250,000. Doesn't have to be in my personal bank account. It could be the business. At least $250,000 a year. I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to stop. And $1 million, the goal is to be bringing in $250,000 a year, but have $1 million in assets. So I don't even care if you call me an asset millionaire. I don't care. When you're making $250,000 a year coming in consistently, and someone like Glenda Cameron tells you, but he's only a asset millionaire. So what? I'll be an asset millionaire. I don't care if it's liquid or not. I'm probably going to have very modest cars. I don't think I'm going to have anything like super flashy car-wise. I may get a luxury car. I'm thinking maybe I'll get like a Lexus, but that might be like top tier. Something reliable is more my thing. And then I may get, God, forgive me for saying it, but I may get like a electric vehicle and a gas-powered vehicle. I kind of want both options. And have them owned by either one of my companies. Yeah, I probably would rather have it owned by one of my companies than have it to my trust. Have my home that I live in owned by the trust. So when I'm my daughters, granddaughters, they got that automatic done. Then I'll be able to sleep good at night. I won't be able to sleep until I make this happen. And it all started with this family LLC I'm building. I already built. But in the next 6 months, you're going to see the revenue, the credit. I'm not even worried about getting views now. I'm not even worried about it. Because the minute you guys see me showing a new credit card I just got for this entity, or a new line of credit I just got for this entity, the views are gonna. And the beauty is I can take the same content and put it over on Slack, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, 5 YouTube channels. Actually 6, but I only post on 5. And I might build a new channel that I want to monetize. I might. Still thinking about it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.